Hey, what's up, guys? Today I'm reading a short section from Navigating the World That COVID-19 Made, a strategy for revamping the pandemic research and development preparedness and response ecosystem from the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security. And this is brought to you by many groups. The main ones are the Council on Foreign Relations, the Rockefeller Foundation, Wellcome Trust, Council on Foreign Relations, Rockefeller Foundation again, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Funding for this work was provided by New Ventures Fund in consultation with staff from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and Open Philanthropy. I'm just going to read one little section. We're going to skip right to the profits section. Excuse me. COVID-19 demonstrated that pandemics can be profitable for vaccine manufacturers. Vaccine R&D has often suffered from low profits, underinvestment, and concerns about the declining number of vaccine developers, but not in this pandemic. The motivation of vaccine manufacturers in developing products for recent regional epidemics, including the 2014 to 2016 Ebola epidemic in West Africa and the 2015-2016 Zika epidemic in the Americas, were primarily humanitarian and reputational. COVID-19 has been both a truly global health crisis and an enormous profit-making opportunity for vaccine developers and manufacturers. On May 4th, 2021 earnings call, Pfizer projected its COVID-19 vaccine would generate $26 billion in revenues for 2021, sales that far surpassed those of any pharmaceutical product in history. The 2021 global market for COVID-19 vaccines could be as large as US $190 billion, with the Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna vaccines projected to generate revenues of tens of billions of dollars. Many of the manufacturers of COVID-19 vaccines have benefited from direct public investments as well as billions of dollars in public advance purchase commitments, reducing risk to manufacturers. Such large-scale public funding was necessary, especially for smaller biotechnology firms, to encourage companies to invest in R&D for COVID-19. Since market returns are highly uncertain at the early stages of product development, and expediting the development of potentially promising candidates was crucial from a public health perspective. Vaccine manufacturers also benefited from pre-pandemic investments to support international sharing of genomic sequencing data, which facilitated access to SARS-CoV-2 genomic data collected from early COVID-19 patients in China via the publicly accessible GIS aid platform within approximately 1 month from the first reported cases. Access to such information enabled vaccine development to begin around the world without the need for access to any physical specimens. A positive consequence of the pandemic is that new vaccine developers are entering the market. Only 14% of organizations involved in COVID-19 pandemic-related development had previously commercialized vaccines, although some, like Moderna, had prior experience in developing vaccines against pandemic threats, e.g. MERS. Some of the new manufacturers are located in low and middle income countries, which provides the added benefit of expanding the global footprint of vaccine development capability to include countries that may be at elevated risk for the emergence of novel pathogens. The COVID-19 pandemic has also catalyzed a shift in vaccine industry towards messenger RNA vaccines, which can be manufactured at scale, are strongly immunogenic, and can be quickly altered should genetic variants arise. Another consequence is that in future crises, they're already preparing, more vaccine makers may seek to avoid public sector and non-governmental organization arrangements that could encumber potential profit making. Global health funders tend to provide earlier stage investment to vaccine developers, before it is clear that a candidate is viable and at times when private sector funding may be more difficult to obtain. Early in product development, smaller investments in the millions of dollars can make a meaningful difference in product development. But the profitability of pandemic vaccines, demonstrated in the COVID-19 pandemic, could make vaccine developers more reluctant to take such funds if they are accompanied by extensive equitable access obligations. One reason is that such contracts could make it more difficult for biotechnology firms to be acquired by multinational pharmaceutical firms, which have the resources and experience to expand product capacity and shepherd products through regulatory review, that hope to commercialize these vaccines on a global scale. This could lead pharmaceutical companies to prioritize agreements with governments that are willing and able to pay more and accept fewer equitable access requirements, particularly in circumstances in which there may be multiple eager public sector buyers for scarce vaccine supplies. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Pfizer entered into advanced purchase agreements but did not enter other public funding arrangements. This approach may have enabled the company to escape some of the restrictions and criticisms directed towards other companies that accepted public funds in a variety of forms. Yeah, I'll just stop there for this video, but I thought that was worth sharing with everybody that I'm going to read this sentence again. On a May 4th, 2021 earnings call, Pfizer projected its COVID-19 vaccine would generate US $26 billion in revenues for 2021, sales that far surpassed those of any pharmaceutical product in history. And I'm going to honestly leave it at that without much commentary. When asking who benefited from the pandemic, it's right there in their own documents and their own publications that very few people take the time to read. So thanks, guys. Have a good day. Bye.